page 1793, page 1794, page 1795, page 1796, page 1797, page 1798, page 1799, page 1800, page 1801, page 1802, page 1803, page 1804, page 1805, page 1806, page 1807, page 1808, page 1809, page 1810, page 1811, page 1812, page 1813, page 1814, page 1815, page 1816, page 1817, page 1818, page 1819, page 1820, page 1821, page 1822, page 1823, page 1824, page 1825, page 1826, page 1827, page 1828, page 1829, page 1830, page 1831, page 1832. Yes, which page? Okay.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, and that page 1832, clause 5959, it says supply of ethical or dangerous drugs. I thought it's illicit. The word ethical.
The divorce and proceedings reflects what we passed. And that was what is in the well, I'm sure, sorry? That was what was in the, that was what was there. Is it on the same thing? Senator Sadiq Umar.
Yes, sir. It's correct as stated. We are talking of ethical drugs. We don't have ethics drugs. We have ethical drugs. Maybe he's speaking legally or something, but pharmaceutically it is ethical drugs. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. So that is the answer, I think. And that is a pharmacist, by the way. So I think we should take it as it is. Yes. Page 1833. Page 1834. Page 1835. Page 1836. Page 1837. Page 1838. page 1839, page 1840, page 1841, page 1842, page 1843, page 1844, page 1845, page 1846, page 1847, page 1848, page 1849, page 1850, page 1851, page 1852, page 1853, page 1854, page 1855, page 1856, page 1857, page 1858, page 1859. Distinguished Senator Yakubu Oseni.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Yakubu Oseni from Kogi Central. I rise to move for the adoptions of votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 4th May 2021, as it is. I so move.
Distinguished Senator Obinna Ogba.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Obinna Ogba, Abuja Central. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my distinguished colleague, Senator Seni, that the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 4th May 2021 be approved. I so second, Mr. President.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 4th May 2021 be approved, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 4th May 2021 is hereby approved. letter from the leader of the Senate. Announcement. There will be a meeting of the APC caucus of the Senate immediately after plenary at hearing room 1. All distinguished APC members of the Senate are invited to attend, please. Signed, Senator Yahya Abdullahi, Senate Leader. Any petitions? Petition, distinguished Senator Ayo Akinyelure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. My name remains Senator Ayo Akinyelure, representing Ondo Central. Mr. President, I have 5 petitions to lay today. Presentation of petition not late, but referred to the Committee on Ethics from the Office of the President of the Senate. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions, in line with Order 41, 1 and 3, wishes to present to the Senate some petition yet to be laid from the Office of the President of the Senate in order to officially place the petition in the public domain through the floor of the Senate and for the votes and proceeding to capture the approval for referral. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, please find below a summary of the 5 petitions received from the Senate President's Office for ease of reference. Number 1, petitioner, Dr. George Ubo, responded, the chairman of EFCC and Access Bank PLC. Subject matter of the petition. Petition against EFCC chairman Bauer and Access Bank PLC to explain over 779 million naira Tafa Balogun's fund diverted. The 4 years EFCC Access Bank PLC statement expunged. The 1.993 trillion naira EFCC diverted from inception to 2013, and all EFCC chairman, so acting chairman, to wit, Nur Ribadu, Farida Wasiri, Ibrahim Lamode, and Ibrahim Magu, among other persons and entities. Number 2, petition from Dr. George Ubo against MTN Nigerian Limited and Attorney General of the Federation, CBN Governor, MD and MD of Standard Chartered Bank, Sabit IBT Bank, Citibank, and others. Petition for the recovery of 25,698,363,716 USD to Federation account against MTN Nigeria Limited. And Attorney General of the Federation in connivance with CBN Governor and the Managing Director of Standard Chartered Bank, Stanbic IBTC Bank, and some eminent Nigerians frustrating the recovery of the $25 billion recommended for recovery to Federation account through investigation report by the DSS and letter from the Federal Ministry of Finance directed to AGF for recovery of the $25.6 billion and prosecution of the indicted persons or corporations via issuance of fake certificate of capital importation for over 9 years by CBN, a call for Senate investigation for recovery and prosecution. Number 3, petitioner Olatubotu S.E. Odusaya against the governing council and the vice chancellor of Federal University of Oyo-Ekiti. Subject matter, petition against the University Governing Council and the vice chancellor for wrongful termination of appointment without due process for offenses not committed. Number 4, Debo Ologunagba, barrister, against Property Mart Real Estate Investment Limited. Petition against Property Mart Real Estate Investment Limited for connivance with Nigerian Police Force and some law enforcement agents to defraud innocent Nigerians of several millions of naira through direct investment into their housing scheme without deliveries to many Nigerians. A call for Senate investigation for compliance. And finally, Mr. President, number 5, Dr. Donatus Benson Idausa, PhD, against the Executive Vice Chairman and top management of Nigerian Communication Commission. Petitions against the Executive Vice Chairman and top management staff of Nigerian Communication Commission, Director of Audit and Head of Finance for gross misappropriation of 122 million without justification and imposition of sanction. Hence, a call for certain investigation and recommendation of the sanction to act as deterrent to others to stop future occurrence. Mr. President, Sue colleague, to the best of my knowledge, none of the above petitioners is seeking judicial remedy. I therefore move, Mr. President, to seek the indulgence of the Senate to lay the above petition before the Senate for official referral to the committee for further legislative action.
Well, since none of the petitioners is seeking judicial remedy, you may lay the petitions, please. The petitions are referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions to report back within 4 weeks. Any more petitions? Leader of the Senate. Point of order, Senate Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, I rise on the strength of Order 42 and 52 of the Senate Standing Rule. May I have your...
You may read, please.
The matter for discussion, Mr. President, shall, if possible, be referred to the President of the Senate before commencement of the day's sitting, and the President of the Senate shall refuse to allow the claim unless he is satisfied that the matter is definite and urgent. Order 52. Notice shall not be dispensed with in the case of a motion or in respect of any other proceeding for which notice is required, except with the consent of the President of the Senate and the general assent of the senators present. Mr. President, the issues involved are issues of gross fundamental abuse of rights of citizens.
You mean allegations? Huh?
They are not allegations, Mr. President. They are verifiable facts with empirical evidence, as I will explain if allowed.
Okay. Because come under Order 42 and 52, it is necessary that we get the endorsement of at least 1/5 of senators. Those in favor of the motion by our colleague that the Senate allows him to present his motion, now please say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. You may proceed, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Senator Boacha Emmanuel. I represent the peace-loving people of Taraba South. Mr. President, the issue in question is a gross abuse of fundamental human rights of 14 of my constituents, and the names are provided herewith. That, Mr. President, the Senate note with root shock and concern over continuous abuse of human rights and violation of Nigerian citizens with impunity by some institutions from within our space of Taraba State. These are very visible institutions. Individuals in the judiciary and of course in the police. Mr. President, the Senate is worried that Nigerians are yet to forget in a hurry the danger that engulfed this country by our youth originating from the End SARS demonstration. Aware that the Taraba State Judiciary had been on strike to press home their demand for independence of the judiciary. And so the State Judiciary had been on strike for quite some time now. Concerned that 14 members of my senatorial district were on the 23rd of April bundled out of their domain and taken to Jalingo, detained in police cell. All entreaties to get them on bail fell on deaf ear. The alleged offense, though, being made against them was said to be criminal assault or criminal force and mischief, which actually was a quarrel between them or exchange of unpleasant words between them and a younger brother of my governor. Though the alleged offense being made against them are criminal, but are yet to be proven. It is common knowledge that the Nigerian Constitution demands in a matter of this nature, the suspect shall be charged to court within 24 hours or be released on bail, as can be seen in section 35(4) and 5A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1990 as amended. In spite of the bail application served on the police on the 29th April, that was exactly 1 week after they were being detained, the police hurriedly now went to see a judicial officer, I think the chief registrar of the state judiciary or high court, as he's called, one Bartholomew Keigama, who issued a warrant of detention without hearing out from the accused. From the police cell, they were taken straight to prison. Mr. President, this is a judicial rascality of a monumental proportion, and it is condemnable, it is unwarranted, and must be investigated. And whoever is found trying to drag our nation or the name of the judiciary into the mud must be punished accordingly. Alarmed at this time in the political history of our dear country, when Nigerians look at the judiciary as a temple of justice and a hope for the common man, that such a black market judicial officer is found in the corridors of the judicial arm of government. More worrisome is when the broad day robbery of the provision of the criminal justice system that has taken the cognizance of the fundamental right of a suspect to be presumed innocent until he is proven otherwise before a competent court of law, as captured in section 36(5) of the Nigerian Constitution as amended. Those the police are empowered by section 62 and 63 of Police Act 2020 to release my 14-member constituent on bail in such circumstances because the order that was signed was an illegal paper. It further violates African Charter on Human Rights and People's Rights, thereby constituting an illegality in the whole process. This illegal act also violates the pragmatic effort being made by the hallowed chambers here to decongest all correctional services centers nationwide. And in the face of a pandemic, you ram in 14 able youth, not charged with murder, that you will say they are not bailable. Their lives also is at risk. Accordingly, Mr. President, my prayers that the Senate urge the Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Commission to investigate and sanction the officer, be he Commissioner of Police or whoever that carried out this dastardly act, who was used by whoever, because the person should be unveiled. urge the Senate to direct National Judicial Commission, in collaboration with their state counterpart, to sanction the acting Chief Registrar of Taraba State High Court, one Bartholomew Kaigama, who authorized this monumental judicial abuse that is for his selfish end. Urge the Senate to direct NGs to direct Mr. Bartholomew to urgently grant bail, or the IG and Police Service Commission urge the police to release the said suspect on bail, pending when they will commence their trial. Mr. President, I so rest and submit before
The Deputy Chief Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I'm Ali Sabi Abdullahi. I represent Niger North Senatorial District. Mr. President, the motion as moved by the Deputy Minority Leader is quite unfortunate. Unfortunate in the sense that if this is true, and I said if this is true, it shows clearly that some people are using the privilege of their own power to oppress young people who perhaps have said something negative. But like I said, these are issues that, as presented here, might require maybe further investigation if need be. But, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, permit me to say also that if this is true, it clearly shows one of the reasons why some people are opposed to, for example, the idea of state police, where a governor will have unfettered power to do and undo. It also shows clearly why the current joint union of the judiciary are definitely striking and asking that there should be autonomy for the judiciary. Mr. President, in a democracy, the tenets are clear. There must be independence of the three arms, so that each and every one of them will be able to exercise their rights as enshrined in the Nigerian Constitution. And I believe, just like he has said, the judiciary perhaps are made powerless and helpless. And I believe if they are truly independent, it will be difficult for them to be used in the manner he has described, if it is true. So, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I know issues like this can be, a little bit troubling. It can also be political, just like the minority leader has issued some statements indicating abuse of power, and I believe that is not true. You can see clearly what your deputy is presenting on the floor today in a PDP-controlled state. I think these are the kind of things we must be concerned about. I believe in a democracy, the rule of law must be made to stand. And we all have a duty to ensure that the right thing is done in every respect. Some prayers have been made. I don't know what our decisions will be. But of course, in this hollow chamber, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we have discussed something similar. It's either we ask for an investigation to ascertain the true status of these issues so that we will be found on the right path. I believe we should look at that critically when we come to look at the prayers. With these few comments, I support that we should stand on the path of truth and justice at all times, as we have always done in this chamber. I so submit this.
Senator Michael Opemi Bamidele.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm Michael Opemi Bamidele. I represent Ekiti Central Senatorial District. Distinguished colleagues, it is yet another report on the manner of impunity that is going on in different parts of the country. And I think it's an extremely unfortunate situation. Mr. President, I'm in support of this motion. I'm also in support of the prayers. There is a presumption of innocence, which is a very important aspect of our law. Until proven otherwise, every alleged or accused person under our law and under our criminal justice system is presumed to be innocent. And for 14 citizens of this country in Taraba State to have been detained for this long without trial and without the law being allowed to take its due process, I think is something that is a national embarrassment to all of us. And as a Senate, we definitely must be interested in this, and we look forward to this matter being investigated as soon as possible. And in supporting this, Mr. President, I just feel that it is important that I also re-emphasize the need for us to continue to encourage ourselves on the floor of this Senate, on both sides of the aisle, to continue to look at issues objectively. The nation is going through a very trying moment, and we must all come together as we have done up to this moment to see how we can continue to provide solutions and refrain from politicizing these issues. My privilege as a member of this Senate, my privilege as a member of a political party had been under siege in the last 24 hours because of some attempt by people who rather should continue to see how we can all work together are now doing everything possible to make it look as if it is a political party affair. And in supporting this motion, I note again, sir, that this is a motion sponsored by the Deputy Minority Leader, a respectable citizen of Taraba State, a member of the same political party with the sitting governor in Taraba State, who has come to the floor of this Senate to allege that the reason 14 of his constituents have been detained illegally was because they were alleged to have, done something to the younger brother of the sitting governor, another PDP, person. So we cannot sit here and say it is a PDP affair, or it is because Taraba State is led by PDP. That's what this is a flagrant abuse of our constitution, of our law, and it must be addressed as so. It is in the same vision and in the same vein we must address every problem our country is faced with without attempting to politicize it. So I just wanted to make that point, Mr. President, and having said that...
Thank you. We'll go to the prayer. Go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Urge the Acting Inspector General of Police and Police Service Commission to investigate and sanction the officer, the State Commissioner of Police, who was blinded by whatever influence to authorize the unlawful arrest and detention of the 14 members of my constituents without bail. Deputy Minority Leader, I want to suggest, if you are saying the IG, the acting IG and the Police Service Commission should investigate, then why don't we just leave it investigation instead of continuing with and sanction the officer? Because you are presuming the officer is already guilty. So there is no need for investigation.
Sorry, Mr. President, the investigation, because they have a joint responsibility, the Police Service Commission and the IG.
No, I'm not talking about joint responsibility. I'm talking of investigation and sanction, because if you say sanctioning.
should be investigated thoroughly. And that is the prayer, Mr. President.
You have amended it. What I have in prayer 1, there is no constitution at all. So those in favor of prayer 1 as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay, the ayes have it. Prayer 2, urge the Senate to direct National Judicial Commission in collaboration with the state counterparts to sanction the acting Chief Registrar of Taraba State High Court, His Worship Honor Bartholomew R. Kagama, who authorized this monumental judicial. You presumed this thing have already. So
Two.
Okay, corrected. The way it is wrong.
Yes, Mr. President, the NJC in collaboration with the State Judicial Service should investigate the officer in question.
Okay. Those in favor of this prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Yes, Senator Ike Ekwaramadu.
So, Mr. President, you already ruled, but I was just trying to point. You've already ruled, but I was trying to direct the Senate properly. Because matters concerning the NJC and judiciary are matters we have to be very careful with. Because this is a different arm of government. There's a mutual respect between the judiciary and the parliament. Just as the judiciary cannot direct us how we do our job, we must also be careful in directing the NJC. The NJC is an independent body that disciplines judges and some of their staff. So I believe that the appropriate remedy here is for the victims to write a petition to the NJC and not for the Senate to direct the NJC. So I'm just trying to guide the Senate, please.
Thank you very much. But I think you are right, but the prayer has been amended, not as it is in the paper. So it's no more directing, but to investigate what is being alleged. Prayer 3, urge the Senate, no. Again, urge the Senate to direct NGC. Not direct. Huh? Urge the Senate to direct NJC to direct His Worship to urgently grant bail. No, I don't think this is. No, I don't. Senator Boacha, you want me to put the question?
Mr. President, the purpose of the prayer is to ensure that.
No. So I will put the question on the prayer. Because you insist you want that prayer there. Isn't it? I'm just giving you the latitude because we are just like advised by by Senator Ike Ekwaramadu that we can't direct the NJC, and that's true. And for NJC to direct His Worship to urgently grant bail, we can't do that. There's a process of granting bail, isn't it?
Mr. President, I think the error of direct is from the Secretariat anyway. The idea is to get the suspect who are still in detention.
So how do you want it? Because we have to put it into to vote.
National Judicial Commission also to intervene in ensuring that the suspect are released, which can be done by the IG and the. No, we will appeal. We are appealing, not directly. Mr. President, the prayer is urge the National Judicial Council in collaboration with its state counterpart to ensure the release of this suspect.
No, but you see, my problem with that is you can't just say ensure release because there's a process. There's supposed to be a process.
Mr. President, they have gone beyond the days required by law. It's 24 hours. That is why the urge is necessary.
Okay. Those in favor of prayer 3 as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 4. Urge the Senate to direct NJC, no. To further direct His Worship B.R. Kagama to withdraw the purported illegal remand warrant against my 14-member constituency as it was issued in error, as he neither issued any warrant of arrest against the suspects or the suspect appeared before him or were my constituents duly arraigned before him. Moreover, he cannot appear to purport the act judicially when the courts are locked up. Or urge the Senate to direct His Worship B.R. Kagama to return my constituents to the police to enable them obtain their bail since courts are shut down, as the purported remand warrant was illegal and issued in error. Those in favor of prayer 4 as amended by the sponsor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The nays have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a bill in the name of the distinguished Senator Ajaputa on the Solid Minerals Producing Areas Development Agency Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read it.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Solid Minerals Producing Areas Development Agency Bill 2021, SB 713, first reading.
Solid Minerals Producing Areas Development Agency Bill 2021, SB 713, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Theodore Oji Ochendu on the Local Industry Patronage Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Local Industry Patronage Bill 2021, SB 714, first reading.
Local Industry Patronage Bill 2021, SB 714, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Elisha Cliff Ishaq on the Nigerian Armed Forces Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigerian Armed Forces Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2021, SB 715, first reading.
Nigerian Armed Forces Trust Fund Establishment Bill 2021, SB 715, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of distinguished Senator Kashim Shettima on the National Commission for Peace, Reconciliation and Mediation Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Commission for Peace, Reconciliation and Mediation Bill 2021, SB 716, first reading.
National Commission for Peace, Reconciliation and Mediation Bill 2021, SB 716, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Is the presentation of the report of the Committee on Aviation on the oversight visit to some agencies under jurisdiction of the committee. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the distinguished Senate.
No, Leader. There is the next National Emergency Medical Services. You have jumped up.
Maybe. The fifth business of the day is the presentation of a bill saying in the name of distinguished Senator Yahaya Ibrahim Oleregbe on the National Emergency Medical Services Agency Establishment Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, National Emergency Medical Services Agency Establishment Bill 2021,
SB 717, first reading.
National Emergency Medical Services Agency Establishment Bill 2021, SB 717, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the sixth business of the day is the presentation of the report of the Committee on Aviation on the oversight visit to some agencies under the jurisdiction of the committee. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Smart Ademi, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the Senate to receive the report.
Senator Smart Ademi.
Your Excellency, I rise to move the motion that the Senate do receive the report of the Senate Committee on Aviation on oversight function to some agencies. I so move, Mr. President.
I need someone to second it. Senator Ezekiel Dimka.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Ezekiel Dimka, representing the peace-loving people of Ajaputa Central. I raise, Mr. President, some colleagues, to sincerely agree with the motion moved by my distinguished colleagues pertaining the report on aviation duly submitted. Mr. President, as earlier had, we know all that has to do with transportation in this country.
Distinguished, you are supposed to just second the motion to receive the report. Okay. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Aviation, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You may read the report, please. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the seventh business of the day is the presentation of the reports of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the National Dermatology Specialist Hospital, Garkida, Adamawa State, Establishment Bill 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ibrahim Yahaya Oloregbe, Chairman of the committee, to move a motion for the Senate to receive the report. In his absence, the Deputy Chairman of the committee will do the presentation, sir.
Distinguished Senator Betty Apiafi.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. Mr. President, may I move that the Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Committee on Health, Tertiary and Secondary on the National Specialist Hospital, Garkida, Adamawa State, to be laid as so moved.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive the report of our Committee on Health, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished, you may lay the report, please. Leader of the Senate.
First order of the day is the second reading of the Bitumen Training Institute, or DIA, Ondo State Establishment Bill 2021. The single senator will recall that the bill
was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Wednesday, 10th March 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Nicholas Olubukola Tofomo to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Nicholas Tofomo.
My Senate President, I want to lead the debate on the establishment of Bitumen Training Institute, Odiaye, Ondo State. Establishment Bill 2021, in bracket SB 663. I'm Senator Nicholas Tufomo, representing Ondo South. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm delighted to lead the debate on the establishment of Bitumen Training Institute. You will recall that this bill was read for the first time on Tuesday, March 2021. This government has a priority of enhancing economic diversity, and the Ninth Assembly has keyed into this concept of meaningful development. Bitumen deposit in Ondo South covers Odigbo, Okitipupa, and Irele local government, which is about half of the senatorial district. It's on record that the bitumen in Ondo South is the second largest deposit in the world. Venezuela has the largest deposit and is currently the largest in the whole world. Bitumen importation has been significant in Nigeria since military administration of General Gowon, and it has taken significant effect on our foreign exchange. Bitumen is used for many things in Nigeria. This includes road construction and housing, etc. Many past administrations of federal government have played different roles in exploring bitumen. They include General Yakubu Gowon, 1966 to 1975. President Olusegun Obasanjo, 1999 to 1979. No, sorry, to 2007. General Ibrahim Babangida was there from 1985 to 1993. President Goodluck Jonathan played his role in 2010 to 2015. And our President, Muhammad Buhari, have shown interest in bitumen exploration since 2015. But it's not a continuous process because of bitumen difficulties in its exploration. Bitumen is one of the enriching diverse mineral resources in Nigeria and some African countries just like crude oil. It is found in Ondo State, Lagos State, Ogun State, and Edo State. Bitumen bitumen was first discovered in 1900, and the exploration began in 1905. Ondo State has the deposit of sand bitumen, and the state government has tried its exploration in the past without any achievement. There is environmental degradation caused by spilling of bitumen, and will create employment for the people in the region. The bitumen in Nigeria is the largest in Africa. Bitumen is found in massive quantities, mainly in southwest part of Nigeria, especially in the tar sand of Ilubirin, Loda, and Agbabu in Ondo State. Bitumen deposits extend around 120 kilometers approximately. In Ondo State, the estimate of amount of bitumen available for exploration is about 16 billion barrels. There are two basic concentrated form of bitumen in Ondo South. They are seepages and outcrops of bitumen, tar sands, and lower viscous bitumen. Nigeria has an estimated bitumen reserve of 42.74 billion metric tons. Bitumen is usually found naturally on the tar sand, where it can be processed and refined into oil-rich bitumen. It can be found as refined products where it occurs via oil fractional bitumen, oil fractional distribution. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the establishment of Bitumen Institute will harmonize all the strides and research made on bitumen exploration since 1905 and come up with a solid foundation for economic exploration of bitumen in Nigeria. The enactment of this bill will help transforming the bitumen potentials as well as functions in Nigeria in producing the desired manpower and expertise to drive the bitumen industry, just like the petroleum trading industry is doing with the petroleum industry. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, it may interest you to know that the host community and Ondo State government is ready to be part of, is ready to part with over 1,000 acres of land for the purpose. In line with our order 77 sub 3, our standing rule, the financial commitment is hereby attached. Thank you, Mr. President and my colleagues.
Distinguished, you said the financial compendium is attached. Mine does not have the attachment.
I forwarded it. Maybe they left it in error.
Okay, who has the attachment? Has anybody got the attachment? Do you have the attachment?
I think it's with the clerk of business rules and regulations.
Please, they should make the attachment available. Let the attachment be made available. Senator, the Deputy Senate Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Robert Ajaputa, representing Ondo North Senatorial District. I rise to second this reading of the second reading of this bill has been sponsored by my distinguished colleagues, Nicholas Tufoma. In the body of the lead debate, he has highlighted the fact that this bitumen deposit is the second largest in the world, which is correct, and that Nigeria has approximate estimate of 42.74 billion metric ton reserve. Again, this is correct. Mr. President, the problem of our roads today in Nigeria calls for necessary attention as a major infrastructure. And I believe that the exploration of the bitumen in Odiaye will substantially contribute to the improvement and development of the road infrastructure in the country, and also reduce the amount of foreign exchange that is being expended in importing bitumen. Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, the establishment of the Bitumen Training Institute is very essential for sustainability of this project and also for creation of employment for the youth in that area. As he said, it will be like the Petroleum Training Institute in Warri, which has been created to create capacity for management and technical aspect of the petroleum industry. Having said it, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I will urge that we all support the second reading of this bill in the interest of this country. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Mohammed Adamalero.
President, distinguished colleagues, I remain Muhammad Adamali. Mr. President, I rise also to lend my support for the second reading of this bill because of the attendant benefits Nigeria is trying to derive. Bitumen is the main raw material for the construction of roads in Nigeria. And it is gratifying to hear that Ondo State has the second largest deposit in the world. Yet, Mr. President, we import virtually 100% of the bitumen used in road construction, which is making our roads to be more expensive. Perhaps if bitumen is exploited in Nigeria, the deposit we have, if we exploit it properly, it will reduce the cost of road construction significantly. And it will also save foreign exchange because whatever we're importing, we are using our scarce foreign exchange to bring it. So we can use, the foreign exchange save for other important, requirements of the nation. So, in addition to this, Mr. President, the establishment of this institute will certainly provide employment opportunities, not only to the people in the immediate area where it's located, but Nigeria as a whole. And for this reason, Mr. President, I support the second reading of this bill, and I urge all my colleagues to do the same because of the attendant benefits the nation is trying to derive. Thank you very much.
Senator Abikule Amosu.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, Ibikunle Amosu, I represent Ogun Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, let me join the earlier speakers to commend the efforts of Senator Tofuomo on the establishment of this bitumen training institute in Odiaye, in Ondo State. Mr. President, I've gone through what he put here, and I want to say that this, if it is eventually passed into law, will be a game changer for us in this country. Mr. President, let me say from the beginning that indeed I've argued with him before that Ogun State has more bitumen than Ondo State. Let's even assume now without considering that yes, Ondo State has maybe a bit more than what we have in Ogun State. But truly, Mr. President, if we pursue this to a logical conclusion, just like what I said, it will be a game changer worldwide, except for these days when they are bringing what we call rigid pavement. That is construction of the road by using cement. Worldwide, it is bitumen that are used predominantly in the construction of roads. If you see what is happening to us as we speak today, we have this problem of foreign exchange. If we are able to establish this institute and we begin to take advantage of the huge deposit of bitumen that we have, Mr. President, it will, like what I said, it will be a huge game changer. Indeed, it's akin to what is happening to us now in the area of gas. Before now, we've been flaring our gas. Everybody was saying, oh, everything was the crude. They forgot that even gas, if we manage it well, will give us even more money than what the crude is giving us. The same thing that I want to say about bitumen. If you pursue this to a logical conclusion, Nigeria will benefit more. Nigeria will make more money. And it will be foreign exchange. Indeed, locally, we will satisfy ourselves. Every day we come here, we talk about even insecurity. We talk about our infrastructural decay, the huge deficit that we have in our infrastructure. If we get our act together in the area of bitumen, I'm sure
almost maybe even 70% of our problem will be solved in the area of road construction. Mr. President, one thing that this will do for us, it will employ our people. It will, because once the institute knows what to do, and they do the necessary research on the production of manufacturing of bitumen, then you know that everybody, there is no place, no local government, I'm not even talking about states now, everybody will need this bitumen, and everybody directly will create employment, indirectly it will create too. So, Mr. President, I think we should all support this institute, which will be multi-campus, so that it will not just be in Ondo, it will be in the neighboring Ogun State as well. On this note, Mr. President, I want to wholeheartedly support this bill, and I want to urge our colleagues to so do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Stephen Ode. Senator Stephen Ode.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Stephen Adi Ode. I represent Cross River North Senatorial District. Mr. President, I want to align with the contribution from the distinguished senators. Let me commend my colleague, Senator Nicholas, for this bill. Nigeria is a country that is in dire need of development, and one of the areas that have been left on tap is the area that this bill seeks to address. I wish to support that the Senate consider this bill as very important as it relates to training institutes, because if this bill is eventually passed, the nation will benefit in terms of employment, because the institute will create employment opportunity for our teeming youths. By this, I wish to totally support this bill as sponsored by my distinguished colleague, Senator Nicholas. Thank you, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the Institute of Bitumen Management to provide courses of instruction, training and research in bitumen technology, and to produce technicians and other skilled personnel required to run the industry 2021, SB 663, second reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Institute of Bitumen Management to provide courses of instruction, training and research in bitumen technology, and to produce technicians and other skilled personnel required to run the industry 2021, second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund to report back within 4 weeks. Is it tertiary institutions or science and technology? Huh? I think it should be in science and technology. Or both. No, but it's supposed to be science and technology. Or solid minerals. Okay, I think it should go to solid minerals. You are right. The bill is referred to the Committee on Solid Minerals and Steel Development to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is the second reading of the FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery, Abuja Establishment Bill 2020. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Tuesday, 24th November 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Senator Mohammed Sani Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Mohammed Sani Musa, representing Niger East Senatorial District. I stand to lead a debate on the Federal Capital Territory School of Nursing and Midwifery, Abuja Establishment Bill. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, thank you for giving me the opportunity to lead the debate on this very important bill for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory School of Nursing and Midwifery, Gwagwalada, Abuja. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 24th November 2020. The FCT School of Nursing and Midwifery Gwagwalada is the only institution for training of nurses and midwives in the Federal Capital Territory. It came into existence in 1981. The schools have been the major producer of nursing manpower to health institutions in FCT, its environs, and the country at large. The impact of the graduates of this school is also felt globally. The schools have the whole country at its catchment area, offering admission to candidates from all states of the Federation. It is good to note here that my constituents have been one of the most beneficiaries. The objects of the college shall be to provide training and research in nursing, midwifery, and other specialists of nursing, leading to the award of degree, professional certificate, diplomas, and other post-basic certificates. To provide avenues for continuing education in nursing, midwifery, and other specialties of nursing, and to provide such services that are necessary and incidental to the objects of the college. The school, in its 40 years of existence, have no enabling law establishing it. Several previous attempts have been made to obtain this law but could not scale through. Consequently, up till date, the school could not be upgraded to a college like its counterparts in other parts of the country. The lack of this enabling law has made the school to lose their previous provisional accreditation by the regulating body, Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, NMCN. Though the School of Nursing has been barred from further admission of students this year, 2021. If this bill is not obtained, the school stands the chance of being scrapped off. Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria has mandated all training schools of nurses to go collegial to be closed down. The enactment of this bill into law will upgrade the school to a degree awarding college and enable it to establish other campuses across the 6 area councils of FCT, thereby boosting admission intake. The school is therefore to further advance knowledge through research and nurture unique innovations, entrepreneurship, and wealth management in its core area of interest. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, the enactment of this bill will help in transforming the health and educational fortune in Nigeria, in producing the desired medical manpower and expertise that Nigeria is yearning for. I wish to state that there is no financial implication to this bill. All the operational structures are already in place, as the school has been in existence for the past 40 years. I urge you all to support this bill for the second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent the good and decent people of Kwara North, and we all are. Mr. President, I rise to move that this bill be read for the second time. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, my support for this bill is not unconnected to my position of never getting tired of emphasizing that our health sector is a key sector we must continually pay attention to if we have to get developed in this country. Mr. President, it is sad enough that after almost 40 years, 4 decades, this school has no legal backing, and it right now stands the risk of losing its authority to continue to provide the manpower need in Nigeria generally and in the Federal Capital Territory in particular. Interestingly, Senator Sani Musa, my brother, sponsored this bill like he admitted that his constituents are one of the key beneficiaries of this institution. However, being in FCT, all of us seated here, our constituents are beneficiaries of that institution. So, Mr. President, I urge all of us to support this bill to pass swiftly so that we can save this school, so that our constituents can continue to have the opportunity of getting trained and they can add their quota to our health sector so that we can get to where we want to get to as far as development in this is concerned. Mr. President, I so second.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, and Mayor Mohammed Adam Aleru representing Kebbi Central. Mr. President, it is very, very important for us to support this bill because the college has been in existence since 1981. Unfortunately, there is no enabling law. And as a result of this, many courses could not get accreditation by the accreditation body. It is sad to note this. And right now, students are no longer applying for admission because of this non-accreditation. They prefer to go to other institutions. So this is a very simple request. The college is already in existence. All it requires is enabling law to continue to to operate. So there is no financial implication since all the structures are there, and also the teachers, supporting staff are all, in existence. There is no financial implication, as I said earlier, and I think it's a very straightforward bill. It shouldn't take much time for debate. We should go ahead and approve the second reading of it, and I urge all my colleagues to do that. Thank you very much.
Senator Surajuddin Ajibola Basiru.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dr. Surajuddin Ajibola Bashiru. I represent Osun Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I think the nature of the bill, from what has been stated by Senator Musa Mohammed Sani in the lead debate, is a ratification bill, because as it were, on the fact of establishment of the college, it is already in existence. What is being sought is to make a law that will ratify and give necessary legal status so that the establishment will enjoy the legal autonomy and also the benefit of accreditation and proper restructuring. And considering the seriousness of health issues and medical issues in the context of our global situation, creating the legal backing for this institution will not only aid knowledge in that area, but facilitate necessary manpower for development of our health sector. And the importance of this cannot be overemphasized. So I also support that the bill not only be given a second reading, must be given accelerated consideration by the necessary committee. I thank you, Mr. President.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery and for other related matters 2021, SB 571, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal Capital Territory College of Nursing and Midwifery and for other related matters 2021, second reading taken, and the bill is referred to the committee. Is it on health or FCT? It should be FCT. Yes, the bill is referred to the committee on FCT to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is the second reading of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy Establishment Bill 2020. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this distinguished chamber on Wednesday, 25th November 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Olalekan Ramoni Mustafa to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
Distinguished Senator Lekan Mustafa.
Thank you, Mr. President. Lead debate on the bill for an act to establish Nigerian Correctional Service Academy, Ajaputa, Establishment Bill 2021 SB 545. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I'm delighted to lead the debate on the bill to enact an act to establish the Nigerian Correctional Service Academy, Ajaputa, Establishment Bill 2021, to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificates as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time and for other related matters. You will recall that this bill was read for the first time on Wednesday, 25th November 2020. The Academy was established in 2010 and has trained different levels of officers of the correctional service. This academy will provide strategic leadership training to the Nigerian Correctional Service, which is most desirable in the administration of criminal justice system. It is the desire of all Nigerians to live peacefully and cooperate with all. Nevertheless, no defense apparatus could live in pure idealistic way. It has to be very realistic and remain prepared for any emergency. Hence, the need for proper training that will provide for an effective coordination between security services and other aspects of the country's economic, industrial, and administrative life, including the country's foreign policy. The establishment of this institution had become very desirable and a positive necessity to meet the security of our correctional centers as they are likely to be in future. Nigeria has been battling insecurity and had to face these problems continuously for a considerable period now. The Academy will develop a broader outlook and understanding, out of which will grow a broader strategy. Mr. President, the setting up of the Academy will serve as a multi-service institution that will provide future decision makers with necessary skills and background for filling senior positions in the service and associated fields. The Nigerian Correctional Service Academy can also provide joint training and instruction to both junior and senior service and civil officers and will be under the administrative control of the Ministry of Interior. The study at the Academy will relate to strategic, economic, scientific, political, and industrial aspects of national, internal security and correctional service matters, which will not be limited to the scope of study, but also the aim will include an examination of internal and external threats to the security of Nigeria, as well as possible trends in the future. Such studies will include analysis of diverse factors, such as security policies of states and that of the federal government, conflicts over vital economic interests or territorial claims, and factional, communal, or political differences. Members of the course will also analyze formulation of national strategy for the administration of our prisons. Objectives of the bill. The bill is to provide the legal and institutional framework for the already established academic institution responsible for high standard training and award of certificates in the correctional service. If this bill is passed into law, just like other similar security organizations, the Academy will provide for the conferment of the highest academic qualifications, training, and also provide for equipping of our correctional service corps with the required knowledge and skills that will be recognized by other institutions the world over. The proposed institution will therefore outline a comprehensive academic and skill program that will equip our correctional service with the technical knowledge to execute its mandate of providing effective management and security of correctional centers in Nigeria. The Correctional Service Academy is expected to be the correctional service is expected to be to the correctional service what the Nigerian Police Academy are to the Nigerian police. Overview of the clauses of the bill. The overriding principles behind the introduction of this bill is to provide the legal and institutional framework for the establishment of higher institutions that will bridge the noticeable gap of lack of a recognized higher institution to train correctional service officers. The bill has 36 clauses, subdivided into 6 parts, with the following as the main clauses. Part 1, clauses 1 to 14, incorporates the establishment, objectives, powers, bodies, and officers of the Academy. Part 2, clause 15 deals with the Academy's property and transfer of property to it. Part 3, clauses 16 and 17, incorporation of provisions relating to the statutes of the Academy and procedures of statutes. Part 4, clauses 18 to 24, addresses the financial provisions, namely funds of the Academy, financial year of the Academy, keeping of proper record of account, estimate of income and expenditure, annual reports, annual audits, and direction on account opening. Part 5, clauses 25 to 29, incorporates the supervision and discipline, matters relating to visitation of the Academy, removal of chairman and member of the council, removal of Academy provost or member of staff, suspension of staff of the Academy, and duty to serve instrument of removal. Part 6, clauses 30 to 36 covers miscellaneous and general clauses relating to disposal of land of the Academy, powers of the bodies established under this bill, seal of the Academy, powers of the council to make statutes, Public Officers Protection Act, Cap P419 LFN 2004, interpretation and citation. This bill has first and second schedules, with the first schedule dealing with the principal officers and their functions, and the second schedule dealing with the transitional provisions as to property, functions, etc. Conclusion. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, in view of the foregoing, I urge you all to please support the speedy passage of this bill. This bill has no financial burden on government, as the Academy is already in place with the full complements of directing officers and staff of the service. Thank you for your kind attention.
Senator Barrow-Jibrin.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Senator Barrow-Jibrin. I represent Kano North in this August Senate. Mr. President, please permit me to first of all commend my good friend, Senator Leko Mustafa, for having the foresight in the first place to bring forward the idea of establishing this academy. He did that when he was in the 6th Senate, and he made sure that the academy was built, and as we speak, is now being used to train professionals who are working in our correctional service. It is an institution like what we have in the police force, where we have the Nigerian Police College, but Police Academy. Hitherto, there wasn't this institution. I give kudos to him, and now he's bringing forward the bill, this bill, in order to give the institution a legal backing. It's something that is commendable, and we should not only stop at this. We should do all within our powers to improve on what he has done, particularly in this period where correctional facilities are being threatened by those who don't mean well for this country, who try to destabilize these facilities by instigating attacks on them. So I think we need to do more, and the federal government is doing very well in establishing more correctional facilities. But those who are to man these facilities should be further trained. We should give them more training using this very, very important academy that has been established through the efforts of our colleague, Senator Leko Mustafa. Therefore, I call on my colleagues to make sure that we give this bill a speedy passage because of its importance. I commend, I commend the efforts of Senator Leko Mustafa, and like I said earlier, let's all come together to make sure that we improve on what he has done so far. I say submit, Mr. President. Thank you.
Is anybody against the bill? Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificates as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time, and for other related matters 2021, SB 545, second reading.
A bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Correctional Services Academy to serve as an institution of high-level manpower development with a mandate to train officers and men of the correctional service to acquire and attain the highest standards of professionalism and award such certificate as may be approved by the relevant academic regulatory body from time to time, and for other related matters 2021, second reading taken, and the bill Haba. The bill is referred to the Committee on Interior to report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the Agricultural Research Council Act Amendment Bill 2021. The distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 19th March 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Chairman of the committee, to move the motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Distinguished Senator Abdullahi Adamu, Turakin Kefi.
Thank you very much, Excellency, Mr. President. Very distinguished colleagues, I am Senator Abdullahi Adamu and represent Nasarawa West. It is my privilege to rise, lay the report on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021 SB 118.
I need a seconder. Senator Mohamed Adamalero.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. I remain Mohamed Adamalero. I like Mr. President to second that the bill for enactment, the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and other related matters 2021 be out for the second time.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider our report, the report of our Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Chairman, you may lead the report. Chairman may present the report.
The report on a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters, 2021, SB 118. Introduction. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, at its sitting on Thursday, 19th March 2020, read for the first time the bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters, 2020 SB 118, and referred same to the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development for further legislative action. The bill, sponsored by Senator Abdullahi Adamu, seeks to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, Act 1990, to, among other things, provide for the reconstitution of the membership of the board of the council, appointment of deputy executive secretaries and assistant executive secretaries, include the condition of service of staff to be as applicable in the universities, establish the Federal Colleges of Agriculture, Federal Colleges of Cooperatives, and Federal Colleges of Land Resources Technology, and the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization by placing them under the control of the Council. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, through this bill, will prevent the brain drain from research institutions and Federal Colleges of Agriculture to universities by appropriately revising the condition of service to align with what obtains in the universities. The bill also seeks to dissolve the governing board of all the research institutes established under the Act and proposes that the Board of Council should exercise control and powers over all the research institutions so established. Finally, the bill repeals the National Agricultural Research Institute Act 1964 and the Research Institutes Establishment, etc. Order 1975 and proposes the transfer of staff of the Institute to the Council. Observation. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, ARCN, was established as a body corporate to manage and coordinate research institutes as well as Federal Colleges of Agriculture. These research institutes and colleges are self-accounting, headed by executive directors, and governed by boards appointed by Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Act, when amended, will be similar with sister agencies in other countries like Brazil, India, and China. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this bill seeks to reduce the proliferation of boards by establishing only one board to manage the research system, seek extra budgetary sources of funding research, establish the Federal College of Agriculture, and to bring other related research centers and federal colleges under the ARCN. In addition to these, the bill seeks to improve linkages between all organizations with mandate for research and extension in agriculture. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the establishment of a single board to manage the agricultural research system will grossly reduce the proliferation of boards. It will also bring together the federal colleges and other related research centers, thereby improving the linkages between all organizations with the mandate for agricultural research and extension. By this amendment bill, agricultural research will experience the much needed reform, thereby improving the sector. Recommendations. The committee strongly recommends that the passage of this bill into law will provide the legal backing and regulatory framework for the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, thereby creating a robust research regulatory system. Conclusion. The committee would like to thank Your Excellency the Senate President, distinguished colleagues, for the opportunity given to us to serve in this capacity. Thank you. So, this whole report.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate Committee of the Whole.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report clause by clause, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This bill has 17 clauses, and because there were some amendments, I will go clause by clause. That may be slow, but necessary. Those in favor that clause 1 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 2. Those in favor that clause 2 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 3 retained. Those in favor that clause 3 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 4. Those in favor that clause 4 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 5 on page 6. Those in favor that clause 5 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 6, we are on page 8. It's retained. Those in favor that clause 6 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 7. Those in favor that clause 7 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 8. Those in favor that clause 8 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 9 retained. Those in favor that clause 9 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 10 on page 14. Those in favor that clause 10 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 11. Those in favor that clause 11 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 12 on page 17. Those in favor that clause 12 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 13. Those in favor that clause 13 stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 14 on page 19. Those in favor that clause 14 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 15 retained. Those in favor that clause 15 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 16. Those in favor that clause 16 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 17. Those in favor that clause 17 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The short title. Those in favor that the short title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the schedules stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the explanatory memorandum stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for this chamber to resume plenary for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate reverse the plenary for the chair to report progress, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Senator Tinubu, you wanted the chair to be retained there. The Senate and the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development on the Agriculture Research Council Act Amendment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Clauses 1 to 16 as recommended. Clause interpretation as recommended. Short title as recommended. The schedule as recommended. Explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
My highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for this bill to be read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that this bill be now read a third time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021, SB 118, third reading.
A bill for an act to amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Well, thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Let me, by way of remark, say that however much we desire to get the agriculture sector in Nigeria to contribute meaningfully to our GDP and, in fact, diversify our economy, we have to change some of the ways we practice agriculture in Nigeria. It has to be scientifically based, technologically supported. We have to improve the yields of our various, livestock. We have to improve what we do when we go to our farms. I believe that this is a very important bill, and I hope that the executive arm of government, when this becomes law, will put it into practice. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the fifth order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, Kogi Establishment Bill 2021. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Thursday, 3rd December 2020. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ahmed Babakaita, Chairman of the committee, to move a motion for the presentation and consideration of the report.
Who is? Who is going to present? Distinguished Senator Ahmed Babakaita.
Represent me.
Okay, you want Senator Samegu to present on your behalf? Is that okay? Distinguished Senator Samegu.
I am Senator Sam Egu, Ebonyi North. Mr. President, on the permission of my chairman, I rise to move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, Kogi State, Bill 2021, SB 393. I so move.
Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Sadiq Suleiman Umar. I represent Kwara North. I rise to second the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, Kogi State, and other matters connected therewith, SB 393 Establishment Bill. I so second, Mr. President.
Those in favor that the Senate receives and considers the report of our Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Chairman, distinguished Senator Samegu, you may lead the report, please. You may present the report, it's okay. You may use your mic, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Report of the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, Kogi State, and other matters connected herewith, SB 393, sponsored by Senator Yakubu Oseni. The Senate at its plenary on Thursday, 3/12/2020, debated on the general principles of the bill for the establishment of the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, Kogi State, and for other matters concerned herewith, SB 393. The bill was sponsored by the distinguished Senator Yakubu Oseni. After extensive deliberations, it was read the second time and referred to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund for further legislative action. Objective of the bill. The core objective of the bill is to provide for the establishment of the Nigerian Steel University, Ajaputa, to provide for training, teaching, and instruction of students
in every aspect of technology and engineering and such other fields of skill development, applied learning relevant to the needs of the development of education in Nigeria to meet learning and research needs of prospective students in professional areas of meteorological and engineering and technology, not limited to the following: aluminum fabrication, AutoCAD training, computerized numeric control, theory of management, total productive maintenance, mechanical, civil, electrical, and electronics engineering to prepare young people for the challenges of industrialization of Nigeria. Let me go to committee's legislative action. Consequent upon the referral of the bill, the committee resolved to conduct a public hearing in order to establish the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats associated with the bill, with a view to identifying what should propel it to support the Nigerian education sector. Accordingly, the committee also embarked on a wider media coverage to meet the constituency outreach, principal in legislations, and engage relevant stakeholders to contribute to the bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Steel University Ajaputa in Kogi State, in consonance with the legislative agenda of the 9th Senate. Furthermore, in the process of achieving both the genetic and specific objectives of the bill, the committee deliberated on the provisions and took into account the views expressed by distinguished senators during the debate on the general principle of the bill at the second reading stage. Observations. From the views canvassed by the stakeholders at the public hearing and the subsequent analysis of the presentation made, both oral and written, the committee hereby make the following observations. 1. The stakeholders who made both oral and written submissions at the public hearing called for a high-impact legislation and were unanimously in support of the passage of the bill by the National Assembly. 2. The establishment of the Nigerian Steel University of Ajaputa in Kogi State will no doubt provide the required manpower needs of Nigeria in the areas of meteorological and technological advancement, provision of specialized services in engineering and training in every aspect of education and fields of applied learning relevant to the needs of the development of the education sector in Nigeria. 3. The knowledge of the skill that will be acquired by graduates from the proposed Nigerian Steel University of Ajaputa will definitely go a long way in expanding and deepening the horizon of the students, and as well provide a range of patriotic contributions among the students, ensuring national integration and social progress of diverse young people of this country. Hence, the need for the Senate to consider and approve this legislative proposal. Recommendations. The Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Third Fund, to which this bill was referred to, having carefully considered same, hereby recommends as follows. That the Senate do consider and pass the bill to establish the Nigerian Steel University Ajaputa Bill 2021 as recommended. Conclusion. In conclusion, Mr. President, I wish to use this opportunity on behalf of the Chairman to thank His Excellency, the Senate President, distinguished colleagues for the opportunity to serve in this capacity and to humbly request the Senate to pass the bill. I so move.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Leader of the Senate, Committee of the Whole.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to resolve the Committee of the Whole to consider this report. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, this is a 29 clause bill, and most of the clauses have been retained. So those in favor of clause 1 and 2 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of clause 1 and 3, clauses 1 and 3, clauses 3 and 4, stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 5 and 6, functions of the Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor. Those in favor of clauses 5 and 6, stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 7 and 8, those in favor of clauses 7 and 8 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 9 and 10. Those in favor of clauses 9 and 10 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clauses 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those in favor of clauses 11, 12, 13, and 14 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 15, 16, 17, and 18 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 19, 20, 21, and 22 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 23, 24, and 25 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of clauses 26, 27, 28, and 29 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the interpretation, short title, schedules, and explanatory memorandum stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor of the long title stands part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to a motion for the Senate to resume plenary to allow the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I second the motion that is President resume plenary.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate reverse to plenary for the chair to report progress, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, the Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Debt Fund on the Nigeria Steel University Ajaputa Kogi State Establishment Bill 2021 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 27 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, Schedule 1 to 2 as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for this bill to be read the third time. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the bill be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act establish the Nigerian State University Ajaputa, Kogi State, to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration, and for related matters 2021 SB 393, third reading.
A bill for an act to establish the Nigerian State University Ajaputa, Kogi State, to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration, and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is hereby passed. Congratulations. Once again, this is one of those very important piece of legislation that this Senate has made, because our way to glory, to growth, to development, and in fact to stability is to have our steel industry functioning. And this university, if and when established, will definitely provide the necessary and needed manpower for the steel industry in our country. So congratulations, Senator Yakubu Seni and the Kogi team, except Smart Ademi. So don't know Kuchugoro. Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleague, the sixth order of the day is presentation and consideration of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the establishment of federal medical centers. Mr. President, the committee is not ready on this particular bill, so I rise to move a motion for the consideration, presentation and consideration of this report to be stepped down to another legislative day. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do stand down the consideration, the receipt and consideration of the report of our Committee on Health till another legislative day, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, the seventh order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the Federal Medical Center, MUBI, Adamawa State Establishment Bill 2021. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was referred to the committee on Tuesday, 23rd March 2021. Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Ibrahim Yahaya Oloregbe, and in his absence, distinguished Senator Betty Apiapi, to present the report for consideration of this distinguished chamber.
Leader, why did we stood down the third one if the vice chairman is here to take the fourth one? It's not ready? Oh, okay. Then next time we shouldn't include consideration reports that are not ready, because they occupy spaces that ordinarily should have been utilized for other people. Distinguished Senator Betty Jocelyn Apiafi.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Betty Apiafi. I represent Rivers West Senatorial District. On behalf of the Chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary, I move that the Senate do receive and consider the report of the Committee on Federal Medical Center, MUBI, Adamawa State. I so move.
I need a seconder. Senator Hassan Mohammed Gusau, Zamfara Central.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Hassan Mohammed Gusau. I rise to second that the bill of an act to establish the Federal Medical Center, MUBI, Adamawa State, be allowed. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate do receive and consider the report of our Committee on Health, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. You may let the report, distinguished. Senator Betty Apiafi, you are fully protected. You may present the report, please.
Mr. President, I'm sure I'm fully protected.
There's no doubt about that.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the report we just laid is the report for a bill for an act to provide for the legal framework for the establishment of Federal Medical Center MOBI and for related matters 2021 SB 668. The said report was sent to the committee for further legislative input on the 23rd of March 2021. This bill, if passed, will establish a Federal Medical Center with facilities for diagnostic rehabilitative services in medical treatment. It will also operate as a training school, clinic, amongst others, and also provide access to healthcare services to residents of MOBI and environs. The Committee on Health Institution, Secondary and Tertiary recommends, after a clause-by-clause consideration of the bill, that the Senate consider and pass the bill to establish a Federal Medical Center MOBI and for related matters 2021, SB 668. On behalf of the chairman of the committee, Dr. Oloriegbe, distinguished Senator Oloriegbe, and members of this committee, I wish to use this medium to thank the Senate President and our distinguished colleagues for the opportunity to serve and also to request a speedy passage of this bill as so moved.
Any comments? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for this Senate to resolve in the Committee of the Whole to consider this report.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that this Senate move into Committee of the Whole to consider this report as.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report clause by clause, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. This bill has most of its clauses retained. Those in favor that clauses 1 and 2 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 3 and 4 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 5 and 6 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 7 and 8 stand part of the bill, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 9 and 10 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against any, the ayes have it. Clauses 11 and 12 all retained. Those in favor that clauses 11 and 12 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against any, the ayes have it. Clauses 13, 14, and 15. Those in favor that clauses 13, 14, and 15 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against any, the ayes have it. Clauses 16, 17, and 18 all retain. Those in favor that clauses 16, 17, and 18 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that clauses 19, 20, 21, and 22 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clauses 23, 24, and 25. Those in favor that clauses 23, 24, and 25 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clauses 26, 27, and 28. Those in favor that those clauses stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the interpretation, short title, the schedule, and explanatory memorandum stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those in favor that the long title stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to resume plenary for the chair to report progress. I so move.
Minority Leader.
To second the motion that the Senate revert to plenary to report progress.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate reverts to plenary for the chair to report progress say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the report of the Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary on the Federal Medical Center, MUBI, Adamawa State Establishment Bill 2021, and approved as follows: long title as recommended, clauses 1 to 26 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, the schedule 1 to 2 as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for that this bill be read the third time.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act provides the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center MUBI, Adamawa State, and for related matters 2021 SB 668.
A bill for an act to provide for the legal framework to establish the Federal Medical Center and Federal Medical Centers and for related matters 2021, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Congratulations, Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, due to the very crowded nature of our activities today, and also due to the need to observe the COVID protocols, I rise to move a motion for this distinguished Senate to step down the consideration of all other items on our agenda today to another legislative day. I so move.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that we stand down the consideration of all other items on the other paper till another legislative day, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, my highly respected and distinguished colleagues, I rise to move a motion for the Senate to adjourn its proceedings to tomorrow, Thursday, 6th day of the month of May, at 10 o'clock prompt.
Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, before I put the question, two quick reminders. One, tomorrow's session will be to interact with CDS, the service chiefs, the DGSSS, the DGNI, the Inspector General of Police, and their associated agencies. And therefore, that will be the only item tomorrow after the votes and proceedings. We start at 11 o'clock, but we come in, of course, at 10:30 because we have to pass the votes and proceedings. And then we hold our interaction with the service chiefs. Secondly, there will be a meeting of the APC caucus immediately after the, sorry? So there will be a meeting of the APC caucus immediately after the plenary, signed by the Senate leader. Distinguished colleagues, with these two reminders, those in favor of the motion, that the Senate do adjourn till tomorrow, Thursday, the 6th day of May 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate is hereby adjourned till tomorrow, Thursday, the 6th day of May 2021 at 10 a.m. prompt.